Hello, everyone, and welcome back to TBO. On today's episode, we are discussing tech's biggest fuck-ups this, month.
Yeah.
Pretty much. 'Cause
Yes.
there's been some big fuck-ups in the tech world.
Yes, including let's get
Well,
we've
the
got
ones
Apple.
the big ones we'll be covering are Apple, Microsoft, Unity, Mortal Kombat,
Yeah.
stuff like that. That's basically the big four in terms of games. Twitter, I'm sure, has a big fuck-up, but I'll Google that later.
Yeah. Anyway, let's start off with Apple because that's the one I know most about. So Apple recently had their Apple launch event they normally do every year, and they revealed the good old new iPhone 15.
15.
Now, there's been a lot of controversy about this iPhone. Let's start. I don't know how to start this. Okay, let's start off with the first thing. The 15 is basically the 14 Pro with a shitter camera.
Which is the same comparison every year for an iPhone. It's the same as the last one.
It is, apart from the fact it's even worse this year because they've literally added nothing new.
All they did was swap to a USB-C, didn't they?
Yes, but do you know the funniest thing about the USB-C? It's 2.0.
What? I don't know
It's like-
USB-Cs.
So when you got data speeds, you got 2.0 and 3.0, or 3.1 or 4.0 now. And
Yeah.
the faster speeds allow you to do more things on your phone, such as using another monitor to your phone, most Android phones can do.
Right.
So it's actually the same as Lightning, pretty much. There's actually no difference from it and Lightning.
Fair enough.
And
Except now you have to swap out all your cables to USB-C, so...
yeah, and you got to probably buy an adapter, I imagine, for it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure Apple's got an adapter ready to go.
Yeah, the adapter like 25
Hey, us
quid.
50 quid for an adapter.
Yeah, but there's a lot more controversy to this because a recent story broke out about the back glass of the iPhone. Now,
Okay.
a YouTuber called Jerry Riggs Everything, he does durability tests on phones every year. And this year he did the bending test, and he noticed his thumb went through the back glass of the new iPhone.
What?
It's mad. The video is so funny. He just bends it, his thumb just goes in the back of it.
Does he get glass in it?
Well, no, so he just bends it backwards, like that, to see if it bends. And he does this test on every phone, right? And
Mm-hmm. Was this because of the one that the iPhone...
So yeah, ever since the iPhone 6, he's done a bending test to see if the phone bends.
Yeah.
And this year, when he did the bending test, his thumb went through the back glass. And since then, it's discovered the durability of that back glass is horrendous. If you drop it from hip height, it is shattering immediately. And it's so bad.
Standard iPhone.
No, but it's way worse. Previous years, to be fair, as much as people say iPhone's bad, it's actually been pretty good recently.
I don't think I've ever met a person who has an iPhone who hasn't had a cracked screen.
That is true. I mean, it's probably so easy.
I
to break
cannot
it. This is
complain,
another
though.
level.
I did just break my Fold.
Yeah. Just to compare it, right, they did the same test with the 14 last year and the 15. The 14 survived every time. No scratches, no breaks. And the 15 Pro, they dropped it from head height and the camera module came off.
Nice.
Now, the controversy comes from this year, Apple reduced the charge of their back glass repair from $400 to $200.
Yep.
So they've reduced the cost of it and they've made the glass more fragile.
Yeah, so you'll do it more frequently.
Yeah.
I think, isn't it also because Apple now has to give the right to repair, because there's also a law coming into place in
There
America?
is a law to do with that. So
because of the European Union, isn't it?
Yes, they've made
Yeah.
the back glass more repairable as well. So previously, how it was designed is you would have to take every single component out of the iPhone to replace the back glass.
I never actually knew iPhones had back glass.
Hmm?
I haven't had an iPhone I've never had an iPhone. I've
Yeah,
only
they're
ever
back
had.
glass now.
Yeah, I didn't know that, to be honest. I haven't looked at people's iPhones because I just don't care. I'm just like, I'm happy with my Samsungs. I'm happy with my Honor, my cheap, shitty knocker drug dealer phone that I take to London whenever I go to London because I don't want to get mugged. So if anyone asks me for a phone, I give them that one if I get mugged. But,
Yeah, it's so funny. You see videos now, people just breaking the iPhone straight away, which is this not happened for years.
well, since the 6 is the biggest,
Well, yeah, but the mad thing is, there's actually no upgrades this year at all.
Well,
It's
isn't
so
it meant to be a
weird.
gaming console now? So they've got their...
Wow, they say that.
You
It's just a new chip.
Yeah, it's meant to be as powerful enough to be able to play... Oh, what was it they were showing off? Red Dead, maybe? I don't know. It was You can tell this is really well researched, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so they now says it's a monster win for gaming. They claim as that is part of their thing, and it has apparently a GPU inside it now. That's like 6 cores. Oh, and do you know what the other thing they've been saying about? They now have 5 times optical zoom.
Nice. Oh, Alien Isolation. That's the game they were showing off.
If you weren't aware about the optical zoom, like Samsung's had 10 times since the S20.
Yeah.
It's the first time they've had like not 2 times in years.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah, it's the Pro version that can do console games, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the Pro one. The normal one can. But there's actually nothing new to it. It genuinely is the same. It was nothing. Apart from it now has a better camera chip.
It's still got the fucking stupid, what's it called? Ridge. Like like thing where all the camera modules are. Notch. That's the word.
Not the new one doesn't.
Doesn't it?
15 doesn't. No.
15?
Yeah.
The 15 doesn't have the notch?
No.
What, the normal version or the Pro version?
Neither do.
Really? The 16's got it in this photo.
There's no iPhone 16.
This is the 16, isn't it?
No, on the 15 gen.
Aren't we? Oh, wait. Why are they saying 16 then?
I don't know, but not on 15, mate. Keep up with track.
Apparently it struggles to run Genshin Impact.
Yeah. There's actually, like I said, there's nothing new in this phone. It now just breaks. It now has titanium on the sides for whatever reason. Do you know what? I'll look at your phone.
Cheap for them?
No, titanium's more money.
Oh. Why are they switching to titanium?
I don't know. They're just charging more for the phone. There's no reason for it. No one needs titanium on a phone. And it's also, when they say it's titanium, it's like titanium on the edges and the insides to aluminium.
Yeah.
So it's basically not
recycled titanium?
It's grade 5. It's actually good titanium, but it's barely any in it.
What is the pricing?
Stupid.
Because I imagine it is going to be around the same price for their best version for what my
It's
phone
$799 for the 15. 15 Plus is $899.
$899.
The Pro is $1,000.
They don't even have the Pro on their own website.
I know. And the Pro Max is $1,200.
A 6.7-inch display? Pathetic. Mine can fold open.
Mine's 6.7 inch, and my phone is £500.
Yeah.
It boggles me why any people are buying this phone. I love how they've even said for iPhone 15, it supports USB 2 as a feature. As if not every phone since the past 10 years can do that.
Okay. The Pro Max is $1,199. Titanium with textured matte glass back. Action button. Ring silent switch. So
they got rid of the silent switch, which is one of the most useful features they had.
What is it? I don't know what that is.
It's not an action button. It's just a programmable button. You know, like every...
so like my button on my phone.
Yes.
That usually tries to open Bixby, and then you just change it to a better program.
Yeah. But then it just boggles me. It's every time. But it's worse. It's so much worse this year. There's actually nothing. I mean, last year, at least they got rid of the notch, right? And got the dynamic island, which, to be fair, looks very Apple.
Oh, USB-C supports USB 3 for up to 20 times faster on the Pro and the other one. Max. It's just the standard one.
Yeah, the standard's not. And the standard's still got a 60Hz screen, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't even know any phones that have 60Hz anymore. It's the only one I know.
Well, they don't let Samsung make their screens. So.
Yeah, and the other reason why people are annoyed is because it has the same chip as last year's phone for the normal 15 phone. They've not upgraded the chip. So it's just, yeah.
Do you know, there's a folding phone now that's the same weight as the last year's iPhone.
I did see a folding phone recently that
I think it's the
cheap.
TBOnus folding phone. They made one that's basically the same weight that can fold open, that's the same as the iPhone Max Pro or whatever it is. Like 15 kilograms or something. I don't know, 15 grams. It's crazy. It's super skinny as well. It looks cool. I'm not going to get it because I don't think it's available. But yeah.
Well,
it's just funny that Apple comes into the markets where there's so much more innovation now, and it's just like, we have innovation 5 years ago. Everyone's moved on.
The first time Apple might not do so well as previous years.
No, they'll still sell.
It will still sell, but I don't think people, for them switching from Lightning to USB and for it to be the same phone, which people know is the same phone, but that's a lot of hassle.
I think the hardest point to sell people on is Lightning to USB-C. Although, saying that, I imagine unless you're fully locked into the Apple ecosystem, and you only have Apple products, I think most people nowadays have USB-C.
Once again, I would agree with you, but Apple system, if you have all the Apple accessories, they're all lightning.
So that's my thing, is unless you're like which a lot of Apple people are, which is why it's so fucking annoying talking to them, because they're like, I have everything Apple and I only buy Apple because it's such a built-in ecosystem and Apple does not let you get out in the slightest. Once you're in, and it becomes, you either just lose everything or you can't get anything else. Like, I still don't have access to most of my music from my iPod because I don't have Apple Music, and I can't get it on any other platform because it doesn't. Like, even if I have to pay for Apple Music to get my songs, if I want to listen to them on my phone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but I've paid for all these songs. So let me just listen to the songs and don't make me pay for Apple Music. Just let me have Apple Music as an app and listen to only the songs. I don't care if I can't stream. That's fine. Just let me listen to my music that I paid for when iTunes was a thing. So yeah, I lose access to all of that. But yeah, it's mad. It's just funny. I don't know why Apple still sells massive amounts.
I do think this year they might have a downturn. I don't think they're going to sell as much as last year.
Yeah, but that always happens, and then somehow they still manage to sell millions.
Nah, this is different, man.
I think it will be the switch to USB-C that will kill them in terms of like sales, just because.
That's it. I think it's just that.
I think it's just going to be the annoyance for the people who are in the Apple ecosystem.
The thing is, they're going to see it.
I think casual people will buy this phone because if you've been holding off buying an iPhone for like 3 or 4 years, you'll go, okay, this one USB-C. Most of my stuff, if you're not in the Apple ecosystem, you'll go, oh, okay, USB-C. I have USB-Cs because my PlayStation has it, or my Xbox has it, or my Nintendo Switch, I think, has it. Like, most stuff nowadays has USB-C. And so, like, if you had an old generation, like, old normal Android phone, maybe in the last 4 or 5 years, most have USB-C. So, I think maybe it will convert some people, but I don't know. It's a question.
Yeah. But let's go on to the next big fuck up this year of Unity.
Yes. Unity's price model change that basically may have killed the company.
It's going to be a long way back.
So basically they fucked up. They introduced a new model where if you use their engine across multiple different levels of their subscription service, I think, you had to then get charged per download of your game at like 20 cents a download. So already you can think of the massive downsides to this. You can go, if someone doesn't like your game, they can just download your game constantly and rack up charges for you. Download, uninstall, get a bot doing it. Just have a bunch of people just botting, downloading across multiple consoles. They don't, that you got subscription services. People have multiple platforms that they have the same game on. So, for example, I have multiple games on PlayStation, Steam, Epic, bundles where you get given them for free, stuff like that, and you just have multiple different versions of the same game across multiple platforms. And I have most of them installed on most devices just in case I want to play. But you also sometimes delete a game off your console to save space and then re-download it when you want to play again. And so they've now changed it to you basically have, it's limited to that unique ID. So if it's on your console, one download on your console. Also, it was backtracked to previous games. So if any old Unity game would be susceptible to this. So if you downloaded an old Unity game, especially also you got to think mobile as well.
Well, yeah, the point I was going to make, this charge, right, it doesn't make a difference on how much the company makes.
No.
So if you make free games...
there's someone. Yeah, someone worked out that if this is rough, I can't remember what the exact numbers were, but it was like you make £25,000, £250,000 from like microtransactions for a free game. Unity takes 20 cents per download, and so you download like the game is massive, and it's downloaded like 25 million times if you're doing it based on the Xbox Game Pass. You then owe Unity £525,000 or something like that. So, because I think they took the base level of Xbox's subscribers for Game Pass, and every single person on that Game Pass thing downloads it once, and then you get like 250,000 in microtransactions, and then again, it comes up as like £525,000 that you owe Unity just because people played your game.
Yeah, it's mental, and it worked out is if you were small developers, you would
It
actually lose
ruin-
money.
Yeah, it would basically destroy.
You wouldn't make a profit. You would actually lose money.
Yeah.
So it meant game developers would have to charge like £15 for every download of their game.
So Pokemon Go
mental.
uses it, Hollow Knight uses it, Cuphead, Hearthstone. You don't know how many games Unity runs. Most mobile games use Unity because it's easier.
The two biggest open source game engines is Unity and Unreal Engine.
Yeah, most smaller developers don't go to Unreal because Unreal is more expensive, and most developers have built on... Like, it's very difficult to learn new engines. And so most developers, rather than building their own engine because they're small teams, use these open source platforms to build games. And because it gets easier and easier each year.
Yeah.
Unity just went, nah, fuck it, we're going to charge... Like, I get the understanding of wanting more. Also, do you know the head of Unity?
I don't know personally.
Okay, so the head of Unity currently is a former EA executive.
Oh, I did know this. I did hear about this. Yeah.
So this former EA executive wanted...
It makes so much sense.
Yes. Okay. But when he was at EA, he wanted to charge per bullet reload in Battlefield. Like monetize it. So if you wanted to reload your gun in Battlefield, you had to pay. So that's the person who currently runs Unity. So there's your answer as to why it happened.
Yeah, it's so stupid. It really is that stupid. Now everyone is apparently switching to Godot, which is actually a free open source game engine.
Yeah, but basically, I think Unity backtracked on a lot of the things that they said. So you now, I think their free version or their base version, you don't have this fee applied. It is now capped at 2.5% down, because the other thing was, how the fuck is Unity tracking the downloads? They just basically had a policy of trust us, this is how much you owe us.
Yeah.
Because they can't track it. No one can track it. It's like basically impossible to track the downloads.
Weren't they going by Steam numbers or something?
Potentially, but like...
I think that's what I heard, something. Because they haven't got their own. They were going to go, oh yeah, Steam says this, so you
But they were
this.
also going to charge for like Game Pass and PlayStation and Humble Bundles and all of these sorts of things, hosting like these games. If they get downloaded, they were going to try and get Microsoft or PlayStation to pay the fees. So that,
yeah.
I'm sure Microsoft and PlayStation would be very happy to pay that money for these games that they've paid money to have on their services. So I think you had developers basically, the guys who did Cult of Lamb. I don't know if you know Cult of Lamb. It was like a big indie game recently where you're like a sheep and you go around sacrificing other animals. They basically threatened to take their game off, basically delete their game from Steam and every other platform, so you could only download it before the 1st of January, which is when the new policy takes place. And then, so yeah, they've backtracked on it, and so you now have a base cap of how much you can be charged, or it's based on downloads. So if your downloads goes above the base cap in terms of how much you can only get, the most you can ever get charged is the 2.5%.
Yes.
And the lowest amount, you'll always get charged the lowest amount. So if your downloads don't go over the 2.5%, you don't get charged the 2.5%. But if your downloads go above the 2.5%, you get charged the 2.5%. So better, but still sucky. What else did they do?
I just found a statistic here. Apparently, if you charged 5 cents for your game, it would take, or 15 cents for your game. If you sold more than 30 million downloads, it would take 100% of your profit.
Yeah.
Which is mental. It's so mental.
Yeah, so the runtime fees don't apply to any games created with and currently supported Unity version, including 2022's limited, blah, 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 blah. So they basically backtracked on the old versions of Unity games needing this. So it's only from their newest version of Unity, which launches in 2024. So if you're going to use Unity, if you switch your engine to the 2024 version. So if you're developing a game and you're only using their old version and then you want to upgrade to their new version to get new stuff, then it applies. No game with less than 1 million in trailing 12-month revenue will be subject to the fee.
Yeah.
So the fee will only apply if the following criteria are met. Your game is made using the Unity Pro or Unity Enterprise plan. Your game is created or will be upgraded to the next major Unity version releasing in 2024. Your game meets both thresholds of the 1 million USD gross revenue on a trailing 12-month basis and 1 million lifetime initial engagements. So, that's how they basically changed it. They basically changed it to, again, when your like Steam account or whatever downloads it, that counts as one, and that's it. So if you delete it, it then doesn't count if you reload it again. So it's basically locked at one. The other thing was when they initially released this, they didn't state whether or not pirated versions counted towards downloads, because they still count as downloads. So would people be able to pirate the game and then you'd still lose money? Again, more money than you would lose if people just played your game. So yeah, it was fucked. A lot of developers are basically looking at other platforms. They've basically quelled some of the discourse, but that basically, I think the insider like rumors are, it's basically, look, this has stopped us from panicking about whether or not we'll go bankrupt. But whilst this is a safety net, the trust has been broken, and we may move to other platforms whilst our games after our next game. So yeah, this big fuck up for Unity. Especially because there's not much difference between Unity now and Unreal.
Well, no.
Because Unity used to be just the one for like indies and stuff like that. But Unity... did I say Unreal or Unity? It doesn't help that they both have U in their name. Yeah.
Basically, Unreal and Unity are now cost... Well, to be fair, Unreal is probably cheaper than Unity now.
Yeah, so someone said that Unity... fuck's sake. Unreal, if they wanted to take advantage of this, could just drop their base fee or whatever and just get so many more developers in.
That is true. I mean, they might do. Epic's got so much money.
Yeah. Well, they had enough money to fight Apple, so...
Yeah, like, they just seem to...
Fortnite basically made Epic so powerful.
Well, can I quickly go on to story about Fortnite? Because apparently, Fortnite is now offering parents in the US refunds for game purchases because of all the kids who had used the parents' credit cards to buy Fortnite items.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Epic got like in trouble ages ago about their marketing towards children for like game currencies.
It's like promoting gambling at some point.
Yeah. I
mean, I think Fortnite changed this. It was like £20 for skin.
Yeah.
That's meant... Imagine that. Imagine paying £20 for a piece of item on a game.
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about that. I didn't buy Fortnite skins.
Imagine what tosser would do that.
Yeah, what fucking idiot would buy a Fortnite skin and on their phone?
I think the thing I bought on Fortnite was a battle pass once. I didn't care about the items. I just cared about the quests.
Yeah, but you didn't like Fortnite.
No, I didn't. But
I liked Fortnite when it initially launched, and it was just kind of like a fun thing to do. And then it got way too complicated and way too much of an investment. Yeah, it became like Call of Duty to me. It became too much.
Well, Call of Duty is simpler than Fortnite.
The only thing I would do on Fortnite is buy the skins, because I'm like, oh, that Spider-Man Miles Morales skin looks fucking sick. The Spider-Gwen skin looks sick. The Iron Man skin looks sick. Like, all of these cool skins, I'd be like, oh, yeah, that's sick. But then I'm like, oh, this cost me 20 quid. I'm not buying this. Yeah. I wonder if any of my skins are worth anything. Probably not.
Probably not. Probably not.
I know I have some of the PlayStation ones, so they might be worth something.
And shall we go on to Microsoft?
Xbox. Microsoft. So, we get to discuss my favorite thing in the world, the Microsoft Activision.
Ranting on fucking Xbox again.
Yes, but it's the Microsoft Xbox acquisition of Activision. Essentially, Microsoft had to upload a bunch of documents to the government websites that basically cover the legal side of things, just all the redacted stuff and all of these things that they need to share so that the public can view them. Microsoft uploaded the wrong file and gave all of the unredacted. So we get to see every single thing that Microsoft spoke about and showed. I don't think it's everything. I think it's a lot of stuff, but I'm sure there's multiple massive amounts of things that we didn't get to see. or people are still combing through it because it was a massive amount of data. So we basically got Microsoft's entire next-gen plans, the new controller release dates, insight into their acquisition history. So who were they trying to buy? Biggest one was Nintendo or Steam.
Yeah, Nintendo.
Microsoft's wanted to buy Nintendo since the very first launch, which is the thing. They've had a bonus to get Nintendo since they were created. And also the funniest thing is Nintendo laughed them out the room the first time.
That's mad.
Yeah, the shareholders literally laughed at Microsoft trying to buy Nintendo in the 90s. Or no, early 2000s? Yeah, early 2000s. Yeah. Like 90s to early 2000s. Microsoft tried to buy Nintendo to get into the gaming before they made their own console. And then they basically got laughed out. And then Microsoft... It's the same thing. Nintendo made their two biggest competitors. It's quite funny. Because they made
That's
Sony.
True.
They made Sony. And then they fucking made Microsoft as well. Microsoft's lesser. But they also tried to buy... They considered buying Steam, apparently, at one point. Tried to buy Sega at one point. Microsoft just made a list of every gaming company and went... We could buy
Acquire?
These. We're a $1 trillion company. Let's fucking buy these companies.
Like
I bet they had Sony on their list.
Oh, they probably did.
Yeah, fuck it. Sony's better than us. We'll just buy them. Also, in their email, it was like, Nintendo needs to learn that they're better off without hardware, and their future relies on like their games on other platforms. Forgetting the fact that the Nintendo consoles have outsold Microsoft at every fucking turn.
Well, it's because the Nintendo exclusives are actually better than Xbox exclusives.
Yeah. Microsoft goes, oh, we want exclusives. We don't have exclusives. We'll buy companies to make exclusives. That's the thing. Sony has good exclusives. Nintendo has good exclusives. Exclusives are the thing that sell your fucking consoles.
Yeah, that is it.
Like, they don't do anything other than sell your consoles. Microsoft just didn't have exclusives. That's why people didn't buy it. But, like, Pokemon, Zelda...
What's why they're buying Call of Duty and Activision?
They don't...
And they keep going on about, oh, no, we're not going to make it exclusive.
That's why they bought Bethesda, so they could have Starfield.
It's like, look what happened. Yeah. Everything they're going to... Like, Elder Scrolls as well, right? The new one, they're making it exclusive, aren't they?
It's basically it leaked that they're considering making it. It's basically confirmed because, like I said, every single player game that they have from Bethesda is going to be exclusive. Everything multi-platform. That's gonna happen. Yeah, that's my thing. It's like every single because they did it with Starfield, they did it with Redfall, they did it with they couldn't do it with Deathloop and Ghost Tokyo, whatever it was, or
it's too late, wasn't it, for those?
Yeah,
ones?
Well, they'd already made the deals with PlayStation, but then they had to make it so that they could also have it on Xbox.
Yeah, because originally it was meant to be.
It wasn't meant to be on Xbox, and then Microsoft made it so that yes, you can still have it, but it's a timed exclusive, not only on X. Yeah. But yeah, so every future Bethesda game that's single player is going to be Xbox exclusive. Every single Activision game that is single player will be Microsoft exclusive. Every multiplayer game will be cross-platform because that's how you make fucking money.
That's obviously what's going to happen. Like, how do people not realize this? I feel like big countries who are trying to prove this don't realize this.
No, they don't understand how gaming works. Like, the judge had all of this data, clearly, and they don't go, oh, this is a big fucking thing. I think the fucking deal is coming to a close because they've appeased the CMA with their streaming stuff, their like streaming concerns, like for Game Pass and things like that, because they sold off the xCloud division or whatever to Ubisoft or whatever it is, so that they can.
So they just buy it back off later.
Well, I don't know if it's exactly xCloud, but they sold off some sort of streaming thing to to Ubisoft so that they don't have a lead in. I don't know, but they'll buy Ubisoft at some point, probably.
Wouldn't be surprised. I mean, that's in the mud, isn't it? Ubisoft?
Oh, probably, but I think PlayStation would buy it first. That was the rumor. Every company is just trying to buy every company, and every company shouldn't be allowed to buy every company. It's stupid. Like, everyone's like, monopolies. Oh, yeah, no, there's so many gaming companies. Yeah, most people don't play a lot of games. They play the big ones, but hence why they're the big ones, and they only play the big ones. As per what we saw in the Microsoft Sony thing, it was like Sony made £800 million just from people playing on PlayStation alone, and that's 30% of how much they paid on top.
Yeah.
That's just 30% of what they made off like the thing, but they had to give the other bit to Activision. It's crazy. Like like they worked out like 80% of users only play Call of Duty and stuff like that. I don't have the numbers in front of me, so don't quote me on those numbers, but it was a large percentage of people who play Call of Duty only play Call of Duty and maybe play like one other game. We got all of the future Xbox console things. So there's the next midpoint Xbox, which is going to be a cylinder rather than a square. So it's not going to be an Xbox. So
it's going to be even harder to put in your unit.
Yeah, it's also, well, it's the same size, but I think it's just cylindrical rather than a cube or a rectangle. What's the rectangle that rhombus?
What on about?
The size, the shape. What's a rectangle?
Cuboid.
Yeah, but what's a rectangle? Is it cuboid?
It's a cuboid.
But is that the same? Isn't that just a cube?
Well, yeah, but a cube is a cuboid.
Yeah, but it's not a cube because it's taller than it is wide.
It's still a cuboid.
Is it? I don't know.
Cuboid. It's a cuboid. Cube is everything the same size. A cuboid is something that's a cube but stretched.
A rhombus then.
Rhombus is a 2D shape.
Oh, rhombus. Cool. Anyway, yeah, so it's going to be cylindrical, no disk drive. So Microsoft eliminating physical copies again. So if you have shit internet, good luck. You're not going to be able to download any. Although this is the thing, most games nowadays you have to download something regardless. Like I think what game was it that you basically the whole game isn't. There's a bunch of games now where the whole game isn't even on the disc. It's just part of the game because discs don't have enough data to hold it, and you still have to download the rest on the console to actually have the full game. So physical discs don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, The Last of Us does that. Because the file sizes are too big for discs now, so... This is the thing, we should just go back to cartridges like Nintendo, but make them terabyte hard drives. So you just plug in a terabyte, like a 250 gig cartridge, and just plug it into your console. But yeah, so we then got it's going to have a front USB-C port, better Wi-Fi capabilities, and also they're upping the storage. So base storage across all the consoles will be bigger. So I think the 500 will be a terabyte. The terabytes will be 2 terabytes, and then whatever. They're also bringing out a new controller, which will be the base controller, which is gonna have a swappable battery and rechargeable. Wow, so cool! They're finally getting rid of the fucking battery. And precision haptic feedback. So they're doing PlayStation's haptic feedback because people like that on the console. Like innovative controller design where you get cool things. And a lift to wake capabilities. It's also going to be 2-tone, so it's not just going to be one color. It's going to be white and black. It looks stupid because it's just a big black line and then down. So it's not even like split nicely. It's at the point where the handles end. It's just that bottom bit. Yeah, it's where the You look at a controller and it's basically across there, and then it's black. Like, it's stupid. The next generation console, which is going to be a hybrid between cloud and physical, will release potentially in 2028. Oh, by the way, all of this is subject to change, but this is the most likely because that would be roughly 7 years from the launch. And a life cycle of a console is basically 7 to 8 years. So they're also basically going, we're just basically expecting the future to be cloud gaming, and we want this to be a hybrid between a cloud gaming console and a physical media device. What else? Oh, Microsoft's initial reaction, because you got all the leaked emails as well between like the heads of Microsoft basically going, hey, look, the PlayStation 5 launch. Ha! Their console shit. We've got a better product. Yeah, did you see that? They basically had like, Yeah, they basically went, oh, look, we've got better hardware, we've got better things, we're much more confident now that the PlayStation 5's release, when it initially released, they went, oh, thank fuck, this is shit. We're going to fucking whoop them. Current day, PlayStation 5 has outsold most of the Xbox. It also got revealed that most people have the cheaper Xbox. So at the time of when this happened, 75% of people had, roughly 75% of people have the Xbox Series S rather than the higher powered Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
That's basically because it's cheap. Which is also funny because most developers hate the fucking Xbox Series S because it can't run games, as per the Baldur's Gate thing. Oh, that was the other thing. Microsoft basically said Baldur's Gate was going to be a low-tier RPG Stadia game. And
really?
Yeah, they basically, because they had a priority list of what games they wanted on Game Pass, and they have like priority pricing. So how much were we willing to pay to get this game on Game Pass? And they basically went, oh, this game is going to be like a low-tier Stadia game, and we'll pay like $5 million to get it on our console for Game Pass. And Baldur's Gate 3 is the biggest game of the year, potentially.
Bloody hell.
So yeah, not great for Microsoft. What else happened?
Well, I'm not sure about Microsoft because you knew more than I did.
Yeah, no, you didn't even know this happened.
I didn't know this happened.
To be fair, I didn't know it happened until like I just started, because I've been dropping in and out of Twitter, because Twitter's fucking broken to shit. That was the other thing that happened. Elon Musk's biography came out, and you've been having all the juicy details about that. So he has another kid with Grimes, apparently. That's fun.
Great. A
secret child that no one knows about. He apparently
until right now because he just announced it.
Yeah. No, this is like he's like ages ago. This is like that no one knew about. So
right.
Until this book came out. He apparently went to Cyberpunk developers CD Projekt Red and threatened them with a gun because his girlfriend was in the game and he wanted to be in the game. And so he brought an old-timey gun to Cyberpunk's studio, and they basically pointed a gun at them saying, "Can I be in the game?" So that happened. Yeah, he's a fucking sad man. But yeah. So yeah, that was the reason why I hadn't been, because that's normally where I get my news, and I hadn't been. And then I logged on that day, and I just saw Xbox was trending, and I was like, oh, let's have a look, see what has my Xbox done. And then yeah, it turned out the biggest leak in gaming history, because it was like Xbox FTC, because people were like, oh, the FTC fucking leaked all these documents. No, they basically confirmed that it was Microsoft. Because it was like a big conspiracy that fucking the FTC and Sony released all these documents to make it look bad for Microsoft.
Yeah.
But then they basically came out and the judges and everything basically came out and said, no, Microsoft uploaded these files. We didn't do anything. Microsoft gave us the wrong things. We just uploaded what they gave us because we thought they would do their due diligence and fucking confidentiate things.
You would have thought so, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Someone got fired for that.
Definitely.
But yeah, the other thing was Elder Scrolls 6 probably won't release until 2026. I reckon they won't release it till 2028. Because this was an old thing. And if their new console is coming out in 2028, they're going to want a big heavy hitter game for their launch. And I reckon they'll they'll hold back Elder Scrolls 6 until 2028. And have it launch on. And yeah, it's suspected that it will be only PC and Xbox, which makes my friend very sad because he loves.
Oh yeah, I know you're on about. Yeah.
I messaged him basically going, "Sorry, buddy, it's basically confirmed at this point. You're not going to be able to play it on PlayStation. You're going to have to play it on PC or buy an Xbox." I did say I'll let him borrow mine if he wants it. Although by that time, I don't think it would run on an Xbox Series S.
Is that it for Microsoft now?
Yes. There's a lot of stuff, and I'm sure there's more coming out, but that's the baseline of everything. That's the most important things that happened. Next gen console release specs and date times, that was big. New console, like mid-gen console update. Microsoft trying to buy a bunch of other companies before they settled on Activision. I think the only reason they went to Activision is because Activision had a massive tank in stock because of all the HR problems, like all the sexual harassment allegations and things. I reckon Microsoft wouldn't have done it if that hadn't happened. Like, at least not for a little while. I think they would have picked a smaller target. I think they rushed it. The other bit of news we had was the Nintendo Switch version of Mortal Kombat.
Yes, and that looks terrible. It looks like it's something from the PS2 or PS3, maybe.
So it's essentially basically a terrible, terrible port of a game. There's no facial animations or anything like that. They look like Play-Doh people, and people have done the side-by-side comparisons of the Switch version and the PlayStation and the Steam version of Mortal Kombat 1. And the worst thing about this is the Warner Brothers who make the game... No, Warner Brothers who owns the franchise, I think it is? Or, I don't know. Yeah, I think it is Warner Brothers, because they have the NetherRealm Studios, who I think does Mortal Kombat under the umbrella. At least partnership with them. I can't remember. But they're basically trying to charge full price of $70 or £70 or whatever it is for the same version, and it runs like shit. It's laggy, it's stuttery. For a fighting game, that's terrible.
Yeah.
There's also no refund policy, and they're showing images. They don't have any images on the Nintendo store.
Really?
So, yeah, you can't see anything of the game on the store. So they're basically hiding the fact that it looks like shit on the store. It's just a picture of the Mortal Kombat logo with, like, whatever. In their trailers for the Switch version, I think they used Steam gameplay, so they're not even showing it. But yeah, it's just a big fuck up in terms of that. It's like not even a game. And to charge full price at 70 quid and then not have an...
It's ridiculous. And actually you're laughing. You can't... It's just so funny to make fun of.
Like, even the Red Dead thing where the Switch version of Red Dead came out and it was like 50 quid and it was just a basic port of the PS3 version or whatever. It's like, that's kind of acceptable. Not really. Like, it sucks. Charge it for like 25 quid or cheaper. But, like, I don't get why Switch games are so expensive.
Yeah, neither do I. I don't know. They must
They don't lose value. I don't understand it. You go to like a secondhand store and they're just still like nearly full price. You then go on the App Store on the Nintendo thing and they never have like... They barely ever have sales. And their sales are like 10% off. It's mad. Like, I don't buy... I have a Switch now because I bought it off my friend and I was like, I'll go buy some secondhand games. And they're still like full price.
Yeah.
I'm like... And it's all games that I own if I want to... Like, I have them on Steam. It's just if I want the convenience of carrying them around. Or like a Pokemon game or a Mario Kart. They're still like 40 quid. Like, they don't go down in price. It's ridiculous. It's mad. I don't know. But yeah, it's just funny the Steam version... the Switch version. Oh, that was the other thing, I think, in the leak. We got basically I don't think it was the leak, but we did get an update on a Switch 2.
Really?
Yeah, so we're getting... Like, I think it was released in the Microsoft thing that there was Nintendo's, like, next release of a console will be... next year or 2025,
right?
And then I think a bunch of stuff came out about it. I don't know 100%, but there has been talk about the Switch 2 basically, or Nintendo's next console, because that's the thing everyone forgets, or at least I forget, is the Switch came out before the PS5. I think 2017 was when the Switch launched, so it's up there for a new console. Yeah, March 2017. So was when the Switch launched. So
damn, that's crazy.
And then the next gen, because it came mid-cycle for like the PlayStation and stuff like that. So because the PlayStation 4 was 2014, and then the Switch came out 2017, and I think that was around the time the Pro came out for the PS4 and Xbox, like their Pro versions. And then so. Switch is due for a next-gen upgrade. People are like, are Nintendo just going to drop the portability aspect and make a decent console? Because they never keep the same thing.
Maybe. Well, sometimes no. Wii U. They kept kind
of they improved it, but Nintendo's always been weird. They always just jump from a good thing to a different random thing. So we'll see. I imagine they'll keep the portability because it did so well for them, and they don't do DSs anymore.
Yeah, I think them keeping the handheld thing, like it kind of makes the Switch switch.
Yeah.
Without that, it wouldn't sell.
Nah, they'll just basically have... I think it's... Because I think the Switch 2 can basically run that Unreal Engine version of the Matrix game.
That sounds pretty good. Mind you, the Unreal Engine 2 is pretty decent, to be fair.
Yeah. So that was the rumor, is because I think it came out that people had seen these... Because I think it was a gaming convention or something that Nintendo showed off the Switch 2 running, or like the hardware at least, running the Unreal Matrix demo thing. So people are speculating they can upscale at least, or when it's docked, base version has upscaling. We'll see. But expect that announcement sometime soon, maybe next year. But it'll probably, if it is next year, it'll be December or like November next year, so people can have it in time for the holidays. That tends to be the case. But yeah, that's been the news. Well, the biggest fuck-ups. Yeah.
Wow. I enjoyed this tech section, and to be fair, and about the same length as normal episodes.
Yeah. It's always fun to shit on companies for doing stupid things.
It is fun. I mean, I was only really knew about the Unity and Apple stuff, but
yeah,
still, have fun.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you next time, everybody. Hope you enjoy.
Don't fuck up.
Yes, don't fuck up and be a big tech giant. Because sometimes people actually get mad at you, and it sometimes works out for the better. But yeah, a few updates for the podcast. Hopefully by now all of the old episodes will be either going up or up on the old, YouTube channel. So hopefully I will have done something about that. Most of them are sitting there. I just need to upload and sort out a schedule for the old episodes, whether or not I just release them all at once, or if they get leaked out over time, just to make the YouTube algorithm kick in a bit and hopefully give us some more visibility. But yeah, it will most likely go up on a Thursday if I do, but no plans.
Yeah.
But we've got a lot of old episodes. So that's been a fun day for me. Just spending about 4 days trying to upload old videos. But yeah. We'll see you at next time, everybody. Peace out.
Bye-bye.